Greetings, Internet. Welcome to another episode of Fighting the Void with me, Ginger, and my wonderful little sister co-host, Crystal.
Hiya!
Today we are guestless, and that's okay because guess what? There are all kinds of crazy things going on in the world for us to talk about. It's like somebody a couple of weeks ago just found Pandora's box again, but instead of just Evil 2, it was full of evil and crazy. And somebody said, let's open this up and see what happens. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that might have been my bad. I lost it a couple of weeks ago, and I guess someone found it.
Dang it. You were supposed to have it under wraps. No,
Listen, man, I took a vacation, I blacked out, and somehow I ended up in Virginia with a missing box.
Well, yeah, the crazy is definitely swirling around in Virginia right now. But it's not just in Virginia, everybody. It's hitting Chicago. It's hitting New York. It's hitting Rhode Island. And I'm sure by the time we're done, there's probably going to be crazy just laid out across the Great Plains and freaking clogging up all the natural gas rigs in North Dakota. Okay, because this has been maybe the most insane week or so that I've seen in a while, just in terms of exposing general evil, hypocrisy, and just plain freaking crazy stupid.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm a little fired up today, Crystal.
You know what? I could not tell by your calm disposition. I'm truly surprised. Ginger, say it ain't so.
You know,
it ain't so.
Calm is in the back seat. Calm isn't in the back seat. I kicked Calm. I strangled Calm, kicked it out of the back seat, and left it bleeding on the side of the road about 20 miles back. That's where Calm is right now. Okay?
Well, I'll be the calm one then today, which is weird because it's me. I'm not calm, but okay.
Yeah, well,
I guess I'll take
somebody's got to be the grounded, the centered one, because today it ain't me. Because I haven't really gone into this into all this crazy at all yet. Some of it broke. Some of it broke not before the last episode that I did last week when I talked about the March for Life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
All the crazy, and I'm gonna skip right over the Covington Catholic stuff that seems to have burned out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That was really the start of the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Really, was everything that was done to those poor kids. And
yeah.
I don't know. Did you hear that they hired a lawyer?
No.
They hired a lawyer to be like, okay. I had a guy whose specialty is in libel and slander cases, so. They've got a few particular targets, and they're going to be going after them legally, which I think is great because I guess I'm not skipping right over it after all. Because after they had to shut the school down because they were getting, freaking bomb threats and everything, when they reopened with extra security. The way these kids were just getting dragged through the mud on not just social media. I mean, you expect a social media firestorm because somebody farted the wrong way in the wrong wind, but it was on the mainstream media all over the place. They interviewed the poor kid, the freaking smirker from hell. They interviewed him on NBC. And basically just grilled the poor kid. You could tell. Did you see it at all, Crystal?
No, I did not. I missed that. have to leave and come back.
Okay, everybody. If you're watching, I'm trying to get Crystal back right now. It's going to be just a minute. Bear with us as we get through these technical difficulties. And there she is.
I'm back. Okay. That was weird.
My internet has been a steaming pile of crap lately. I apologize. This has been just seriously obnoxious. Anyway.
Oh, so it wasn't me this time. Okay.
No, this is definitely me. I even I reset my modem and my router earlier, and hoping that would take care of things. I haven't restarted my computer before logging on to call you, and here we still are. I think part of it might actually be my VPN. I need to possibly look into that issue. But
man, freaking Pandora's box even affecting our technology.
Exactly, right? So anyway, picking back up over with Covington, I don't know how much of it went on before. So
we were talking about the interview, which I missed.
Yeah, which this lady just grilled the poor kid. He did a really good job of answering everything straightforward, but you could tell he was out of his depth.
Mm-hmm.
They had no business doing this interview. It was not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, because of the kid did do so well, I think it was a good idea because it wound up showing a definite contrast because the same interviewer interviewed the Indian dude and totally softballed him. It was flat out ridiculous. The question she was asking is just like, don't just go find the clip and watch it. I don't want to spend too much time with it because, like I said, it seems to have burned itself out, fortunately. But yeah, especially when now a little bit of sympathy for those who did initially jump on the, oh my gosh, I can't believe what those kids bandwagon. I'm included in that. Last week, I kind of acknowledged that and apologized for that situation a little bit, which I'm not falling for it again, which gets right to another thing that we'll bring up in a minute. As far as development since then, like I said, they hired a lawyer. As far as I know, school is going back to normal. Their bishop finally apologized for throwing them under the bus as quickly as humanly possible. It was kind of a weak apology, but at least he did apologize, so that's good at least. What was most annoying about the apology was that he admits that he was bullied. I'm like, really? You're a bishop. You're in charge of literally tens of thousands of souls. You're going to let a little social media pressure get to you? I think he's got to develop just a little bit more of a spine. And in the Catholic world, we do have a joke that anytime a bishop does stand up to anyone, they should put out an Episcopal spine alert. Oh, good, you're doing your job. Thank you. But that gets into a whole other can of worms that is unrelated. So, as far as like I said, not falling for it. You're aware of this was it Jussie Smollett case, the actor in Empire? Yeah, we were discussing it online in one of our DM groups a couple days ago. Yeah, so what do you know about that one?
I know he was accused of assaulting someone, I believe.
Yep.
That's about it, because as soon as I heard about it, my mind immediately went to a story I heard from someone who actually worked with the guy on Empire, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics of the story, but like based on like the behavior of him in the story, like I don't think he like assaulted anyone or was like violent towards anyone in the story, but he kind of like has a personality where it's kind of like kind of fishy or whatnot. Like I really wish I remembered more of what the story was. I have a terrible memory, people. Please don't beat me up for it. But it's like, but it's just the way like he would act and whatnot. It's kind of like, oh, this guy kind of seems lazy. Yeah. Oh, because I think he was hanging on someone's girlfriend or something.
Okay.
There was something involving a girlfriend, and it really gave me a bad impression of the guy. So when I heard this accusation, it's like, I'm not surprised.
Okay, so you've got information. You heard about him previously from someone who actually knows the guy.
Well, worked with the guy. They don't like
worked with the guy. Worked with the guy. Okay, fair enough. Good distinction. So that's interesting because for those who haven't been following the crazy as it blows around the country along with the polar vortex. This guy, Jussie Smollett, he's an actor in Empire. He's black. He's gay.
Oh.
Yes, this is actually relevant to the story, sort of.
Oh, wait, which actor is he in the show?
Because I have no idea. I've never seen the show. I don't have the foggiest idea. He sings.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to look it up because I might be fake news. I might be thinking of the wrong actor.
Oh, man. That's it. You're fired. Go get a job at CNN. Straight to CNN with you.
No, don't banish me to CNN.
That's it. How do I get you off the slide? Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we retract our previous statements about the behavior of Jussie Smollett on set.
Yeah, I got the wrong actor.
Correction issued. All right. Oh, man. All right, so as far as this guy, he's an actor on Empire. And apparently, this starts with he got some threatening letters saying that they were going to, or maybe just one letter, I think it was, that they were going to, some people were looking to hurt him because he's black and he's gay, apparently. Well, he's so concerned about it, he lets the studio, he worked the shows on Fox, so he lets the people there know, and they're like, oh, dude, this is serious. You want some like security or something, man? No, totally free of charge, man. We want, we value you. We want you to be safe. He's like, nah. I guess not. Don't bother. I mean, I know I went to the trouble to tell you about this, but I don't want you to actually do anything. So keep that in mind. So he's at a hotel in Chicago a few days ago now. Mm-hmm. And middle of the night, 2 a.m., he decides, you know what sounds good right now? Friggin' some Subway. And apparently there's a 24-hour Subway nearby in Chicago. It's relatively believable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and keep in mind, it's 2 a.m. in Chicago while the polar vortex is happening. It's freaking Arctic temperatures outside.
Yeah.
It's like -20 or worse. It's like, it's like they were saying, if your skin is exposed for more than like 15 minutes, you got frostbite. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, that kind of cold. This guy decides. Well, no, he actually did. He did apparently go outside for a little walk to the Subway that's 4 or 5 blocks down the road because, I don't know, he didn't want the room service. Yes, the hotel does have room service, incidentally. and I don't know which hotel it was, but I was listening to the Peter Schiff show, and he's like, it's a good hotel. Apparently, he knew what hotel it was. It's like it's a good hotel.
Well, no surprise. Actors tend to get really good hotels unless it's like something indie or low budget.
Right, exactly. So he goes for a little walk, and apparently on his way back, I don't know which one, but he gets jumped, he says, by a couple of white guys in, I think he said they were wearing MAGA hats.
The modern day KKK hat.
That one.
I see where this is going.
Yep. And he says they put a noose around his neck, poured bleach on him, and shouted, "This is MAGA country!" Knocked him around a little bit.
That was. Okay.
Okay. And knocked him around a little bit and then left. So he wanders himself over to the hospital. Takes him a while, I guess. Instead of like calling the cops. Incidentally, says he was on the phone with his agent at the time of the attack. And I think the agent has said that, oh yeah, I heard the whole thing. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
So instead of using his phone to call the police right away, he wanders himself over to the hospital and tells them about it. And the story changes a couple of times. I forget exactly how. As he's talking to the cops, essentially. It's like, oh yeah, I was assaulted and this and that, and then they come back and talk to him again, and then he offers a description. It's like it kind of came off like he's making it up as he goes. Put it that way. And not that I want to poison the well or anything, but by all means, feel free to go and look at this. Lots of the big podcasts like Shapiro have talked about it, Peter Schiff, Philip DeFranco, basically across the spectrum, people have discussed this in detail. And it's really interesting. So, the cops, of course, they take him seriously. Like, all right, we're going to look into this. Well, they've got it's downtown Chicago, good part of town. There are video cameras everywhere. They've got all but maybe a minute of his walk on camera. There's like one little gap in there. So in a minute, they would have had to come in range of the camera, do all of this stuff, pour the bleach, shout the MAGA country, and presumably the guy would have fought back, I mean, it might take a little bit of time to get a noose around a dude's neck and then hold him down so you can pour bleach over him, at least a few seconds, and then leave without being seen on camera at all within this one particular 1 minute gap. Also, he was like wearing the noose when he went into the hospital. Now that's just kind of bizarre behavior. Maybe you're in shock or something, you're not thinking about it. Maybe. But I think most people would be like, I'm getting this the hell off me. Just saying. Most people, I think, would be thinking that. But maybe you're in shock.
Benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt. You're in shock. You're not thinking straight. Maybe that's even why you don't call the police right away.
Yeah.
Maybe. But there's that video camera evidence or lack thereof. No evidence whatsoever. The fact that he refused additional security for this letter. And then there's the fact that they're like, oh, hey, can we see your phone so we can, verify when you were on the phone with your agent? He's like, and what could that help with? Well, we're specifically to pay attention to on the tape, see if the time of the phone call matches up with the gap, for example. Also, you could use it to possibly help pin down any other suspicious activity going on in the area at the time. Maybe look at other cameras in the general area to see if you have to see a couple of mega hat wearing dudes carrying a bottle of bleach in -20 or worse weather at 2 a.m. in Chicago.
Yeah.
That
wouldn't be hard to spot, especially if they're red MAGA hats.
It's right. Well, they were wearing like ski masks and everything. They were like wearing dark clothes head to toe, except possibly for the mega hat. Maybe they weren't wearing mega hats. I'd have to double check to be certain.
Okay, because
but they definitely shout. He definitely said they shouted, "This is mega country."
Okay.
In Chicago. I don't know how familiar everyone is with Chicago. It's not mega country. Anyway, you might remember that there was this president who came from there. His name was Obama. And his chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, is still currently the mayor of Chicago. It ain't mega country. Anyway, so yeah, he refuses to hand over the phone and everything. So it's just, this does not look remotely accurate. To be honest, it looks like he made the whole thing up.
There's a lot of holes in this.
There are a lot of holes in this story. I mean, the first thing I would do is like, oh, this will help catch the dudes? Yeah, here's my phone.
Yeah. So he refused to hand over his phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big indicator right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes in that story. I'm not coming out directly saying, "Oh yeah, he totally made up," but just like there's a lot of holes.
Yeah, I don't want to say it 100%, but definitely when I first heard the story, my gut reaction was still like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe horrible people would do such a thing." But then I was like, no, remember the Covington boys. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Employ a little healthy skepticism. And that was well rewarded. Because there are so many reasons to be skeptical about this story.
Yeah.
Now those are relatively the least of the crazy.
The least rage-inducing too.
Yes. The least evil. The most evil gets started with, well, I know you're up to date on New York, so how about you catch us up on that?
On New York or?
New York. Remember, this all got started with New York passing a bill.
Oh.
Remember, right? Like on the anniversary of Roe v. Wade.
Oh, yeah. Wow, so they really passed it.
Yes, they actually passed it with celebrations and everything.
Yeah.
Celebrations and awards and it's glorious.
Oh, okay, so that explains the picture I saw then too.
Yes. Which picture?
There was a picture. It was like a comparison thing of New York past and present, and in the past it was like, I can't remember what it was celebrating, but it was celebrating something that involved like the youth and children and whatnot. And it's like modern day New York. Legalizing abortion. Yay.
Legalizing abortion literally up to birth.
Yeah.
That is what the Reproductive Health Act does, everybody.
Yeah. So as many of you probably know, there's a big thing with many people wanting to legalize abortion in all the states in their own states and as many states as possible, and that goes in hand with Planned Parenthood and all that. So New York, they had a bill to legalize abortion. No surprise here, it's New York.
Legalize late term abortion because abortion was already perfectly legal.
Yeah.
With minimal restriction.
Now you can have like a debate about like, okay, pro-life, pro-choice. And if you're pro-choice, there's also in debates within that circle of like, okay, well, how far into pregnancy and how far back and this and that. But this bill allows abortion to take place even after the baby is born, which means
I'm not sure the Reproductive Health Act allows after.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure it explicitly allows that, but it does. Like basically, the day the kid is going to be born, the mom can say, "Nope."
Oh, okay.
That much is absolutely explicit.
Okay.
Now we'll get to the other thing you were talking about in a minute.
Okay,
because I honestly think it will wind up being that, because again, it's like if the kid's about to be born, why not just have it be born? Good chances are, because the procedure would be, because the baby is so fully formed, you basically are delivering the baby and killing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the way it actually works. It winds up being at best. At best, there is no best here. There is none whatsoever. There's no best. There's no good. This is flat out evil. This is at a minimum, I should say. It's a partial birth abortion, which means you start to deliver the baby, and then you kill it before it's all the way out.
I don't even understand why. Okay, so okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's another. I just remembered the way they were actually talking about. But go ahead and finish your point.
Even ignoring the whole fact that's like, even ignoring the whole debate of how pro-choice for life and whatnot. Say, okay, hypothetically, let's say we're pro-choice. Even then, why would you wait that long into your pregnancy to actually do it?
Why indeed?
Yeah, because okay, so say the common argument, right, is that women get abortions because they can't financially support a child. Well, when you're pregnant and you get that far into pregnancy, you have how many, like, okay, even with healthcare, you have how many bills because you have to go in and get checkups and do this and do that. So are you telling me you went that long into your pregnancy, not getting any baby stuff, not thinking about the baby, that you're pregnant and prolonging what you know you're gonna do? Are you going in for checkups? Why are you going in for checkups if you know you're just going to abort it later on? And if you're not going to checkups, then again, why are you waiting so far into your pregnancy to abort it? Because I'm sorry, with something that big, even if you're indecisive, you have to make a decision as soon as you can.
Now,
otherwise, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, granted, if you are waiting that long, yeah, you should not have a child, but put it up for adoption, not
right. Exactly.
When you're that far in it.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer. Now, here's what they actually do, because you can't actually do a partial birth abortion. That was actually explicitly outlawed in the Bush administration. Went through the Supreme Court and everything. And what they do is they basically give a lethal injection to the baby. They kill it the same way you would kill, ironically enough, a murderer. And then the woman delivers a dead baby, because you still got to get it out. Yeah, delivers a dead baby, and then presumably it's carved up and sold for parts by Planned Parenthood. Because if you remember, there were a bunch of videos a few years ago where they were caught on video doing exactly, well, not literally cutting up, but negotiating the sale of parts. And here's a little aspect of this for you to think about. The more developed the baby is, the more valuable the organs. The more valuable those parts are, the more developed. I can almost guarantee you that played into this bill. Because if you can, and they do try to push you. They do try to convince you. Abby Johnson, she was at the March for Life. For those who don't know, Abby Johnson, she used to be a director of a Planned Parenthood. The first time she actually participated in an abortion, she was actually running the ultrasound. It was quite far along, and they need to actually have the ultrasound to help guide the person who does the whole cutting up of the baby in the womb. Because, for the record, I'm done with euphemism. I'm done with trying to beat around the bushes with this, because that's part of how we got here. Mm-hmm. Is not just calling it what it is. So, that said, that little statement of, yeah, expect this is going to get. I'm not interested in pulling a whole lot of punches. And so she sees this. She sees what's going on. She sees the baby moving away from the from the suction hose that's got the sharp edge on it, so we can chop it up and suck it out bit by bit. She sees this. She sees what's going on. She sees the baby fighting for its life. Changes her. She left the Planned Parenthood. She's now one of the leading voices in the pro-life cause. Like I said, she was just speaking at the March for Life. She was just on a Crowder show again this past week. And she talks about how, yeah, they try to delay a woman's abortion because it's more valuable to them. They try to first, they rush to convince the woman that an abortion is what she needs. And then they're like, well, why don't you wait a week or two? Yeah, this is evil from top to bottom. Flat out, this is an industry that peddles, that trades in flat out, unadulterated evil. There is no mincing of words. I'm not calling everyone there. I'm not calling everyone there evil. I'm not saying they can't be helped. Abby Johnson is a wonderful example of the way these people can change. In fact, now she runs a whole ministry dedicated to helping people in the abortion industry get out of it. Helping them, one, see what they're doing. Two, to see that they don't have to do it. Three, to help them actually get other jobs outside of it so they can continue to support their families. It's not about condemnation. It's about just please stop doing this. You can do other things, we promise. And she's, in fact, her work has helped shut down at least one whole clinic because there was no one there left to work. They were all gone. They had all left. Yeah, good for her. So, in fact, there's a movie about her story, Unplanned, coming out in March 20-something, 27th, 24th, 28th, something like that. I definitely plan on going to see it. Anyway, so there's that. That's how they go about doing it. They give the baby a lethal injection and deliver the dead baby. Presumably, this helps them be able to sell parts for more money. And I guarantee you that's going to happen. Now, keep that in mind. Can you guess what the current governor, incidentally, Governor Cuomo, he celebrated this. Pink lights on all kinds of monuments and everything. The One World Trade Center, built in memorial of 9/11, lit up in pink lights to celebrate. It was a great victory for women's rights. Guess what his stance of the death penalty is? Can you guess?
Immoral?
Oh, yeah. Not a fan at all. Not a fan at all. These guys deserve a second chance at everything, which that's a separate debate. And you can argue that. I'm fine with arguing that, to be perfectly honest. But you can lethally inject a baby and give the baby no chance? Really? That's how do those positions line up? How can you justify that at all? And the funny thing is, people who are against the death penalty will throw at pro-lifers who are pro-death, many of whom not by all means all, not all by any means, but pro-lifers who are in favor of the death penalty they'll throw that. Well, how you're not really pro-life? How can you possibly support the death penalty? Okay, well, if you're so concerned with human dignity and protecting human life, how can you support abortion? It's this is so easy to turn around.
Yeah.
It's like, and you don't, especially when this is the kind of law you're supporting, you don't get to make that argument to me at all. Not me, not to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to be outdone, I believe it is Delegate Kathy Tran in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
bringing back up to where
What
you
I
were
started getting mixed up with, and
yes,
yeah.
yes. Now, did you see the video of her being of the hearings on this bill?
No.
I don't know which one, but one of the Republican delegates, or whatever they specifically call it there. Virginia's a Commonwealth. It's a little bit different than a state. I don't know exactly how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But, talking about her own, essentially, version of the Reproductive Health Act. And the guy was asking, so we'll just cut right to the chase. So, woman is dilating. Can she ask for an abortion? Ms. Tran says, yeah, totally, absolutely. And she tries to deflect a little bit here and there, but yeah, she says, yes, my bill would allow that, is the direct quote. So, not to be unclear, the governor, the recently elected, and this is important too, recently elected Democrat governor of Virginia, I believe his first name is Ralph Northam. He's on radio show Ask the Governor. And they ask him about this. And that specific type of situation. And Crystal, what do you think he said?
That he supports it.
Oh, yeah. In fact, he clarified exactly what would happen. What he says, and in fact, he says, I can tell you exactly what would happen. That's what he said. The baby would be delivered. And if there were complications, for whatever reason, the baby would be resuscitated if the mother wanted that. And the baby would be kept comfortable. And then there would be a discussion between the mother and the physician. A discussion about what? Well, there's only one thing they'd be discussing now, isn't there? They'd be discussing whether or not to throw the kid in the wastebasket. Now, this is rough. Honestly, this is rough. Because, I mean, we are flat out talking about killing babies that are born.
Inside.
I mean, and honestly, like I said, I think this is exactly what the New York bill would wind up doing in practice. I think there would be cases where exactly that sort of thing happens. I would not be surprised. Now, there are a couple of reasons I think about. There are a couple of reasons I think that. One is there's going to be times when the abortion doesn't work. Actually, this is the main reason. There are going to be times when the lethal injection does not work, and by golly, that kid just stubborn little bugger. He just wants to live. He does. And they're going to be, well, if we just leave the kid on the table, who's going to know? I promise you that's going to happen. And the reason I promise you that's going to happen is quite some time ago in the state of Illinois, and when President Barack Obama was a lowly, I believe, state senator, there was a Born Alive Infants Protection Act. I think I got the name right. But basically what it was saying, if a kid survives an abortion, you have to actually care for the kid. You have to actually treat the kid as a kid. Yeah, this was a thing more than a decade. This was a thing more than a decade ago. This kind of thing. This was happening. That's why they had to pass a law, because people were doing this. People were surviving abortions, and they were being left to die. This was already happening over a decade ago. And incidentally, when it came up for a vote, Obama voted present, which is basically his cop-out, coward way of saying, I support this bill, but I know I can't. I know the culture is at a place where I can't openly say that. That's basically what present means. And that was pretty much clarified when people tried to attack him from the left on that and say, well, why did you support this bill? See, back then they were openly advocating for infanticide. It just wasn't quite as clear. And not as many people were willing to call him out on it. Maybe it's the rise of social media and the way all of these clips just spread everywhere now. And it's, if you pay any attention to political social media, especially on the right-wing side of things, you can't miss this stuff anymore. It's not buried. It's not just something that, oh, that came from that random conspiracy website or whatever, and those are the only people reporting on it. No. It's everywhere now, like that. So, thanks, Jack at Twitter. So, as you can see, I'm still a little fired up about this.
Yeah.
Especially, people, of course, called Governor Northam to task. And he basically doubles down on all that. And Tran did the same thing. It's like, I'm not advocating for infanticide, but I'm advocating for infanticide. It was basically the whole tenor of the thing. It's like, that's not what I meant at all. What I meant was this, which is infanticide. There, idiot. Or I can't call him an idiot for that reason. He's evil for that reason. Has no respect for people that are listening to him for that reason. Is an arrogant piece of crap for that reason. Both him and Tran. Mm-hmm. Both arrogant pieces of crap for that. It's like, come on, how stupid do you think we are? Mm-hmm. Do you honestly think we can't hear the words that are coming out of your mouth? Give me a freaking break. So now, right after he does that, and of course, you get the standard headlines: conservatives pounce, and boy, did we, because everybody keyed on this, and everybody went after this guy with not a fraction of the fervor the guy deserves. It deserves to be worse. And incidentally, also should be included in this is, I don't know her name, but the governor of Rhode Island, who said, in reference to the Virginia bill, I would love to sign a bill like that. So something like that, I'd love to sign that. Really? So you're done with the baby killing too. Well, at least we know where you stand. Now, I'm going off on a minor tangent here. One of the things that particularly upsets me about this is Governor Cuomo, and I think the governor of Rhode Island. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but definitely Governor Cuomo. He's Catholic. Now, anyone who knows anything about abortion or the Catholic Church, you know that the Catholic Church is pretty strong against abortion. Yeah. Very, very much so. And this jackhole completely ignores his faith when it comes to abortion, and completely he's like, oh, I'm a good Catholic, therefore I have to oppose the death penalty. That ain't on this level of doctrine, pal. That can still be allowed. They are not on the same level by any means. But what's really upsetting is the relative lack of response from the bishops again. Now, there have been some very strongly worded letters, people basically calling them out and basically calling them out for being evil. A handful of bishops have done this. And to you guys, good for you, honestly. I want to see more of that. But I still want to see more. Particularly disappointing has been Cardinal Dolan, the Archbishop of New York, who I've generally regarded quite favorably as a rule. But he's dropping the ball here because there's been a lot of pressure to excommunicate Cuomo officially, to say you screwed up, you're out. Don't show up until you're ready to make a beeline from the front door to the confessional. Until then, see, I wouldn't want to be you. Well, Cardinal Dolan, and Cardinal Dolan, incidentally, is the only one, I believe, who, other than like the Pope himself, who has the authority because he's Governor Cuomo's. I believe he's Governor Cuomo's bishop. I could be wrong. It might be another bishop, but he actually said we shouldn't use excommunication as a weapon. Well, buddy, you ain't got a lot of tools in the toolbox, and maybe you just might want to let people know that this is a very serious and grave matter, and it's not like the guy doesn't know. It's not like he's never heard the teaching before. It's not like he's never been talked to about it before. He most certainly has. His family has. His father, Mario Cuomo, is, after all, the guy who came up with the "I'm personally opposed to abortion" but line. That comes from the Cuomo family. This is not, the fact that the church is against abortion is not new information for him. He's well aware. He's been made well aware. He's gotten all the warnings. And in light of other things, my whole thing on the abuse, the abuse scandal, where many of the bishops and everything have been complicit. Honestly, the people need to be held accountable. Governor Cuomo is accountable for this, and within the church, that means excommunication at this point, as far as I can tell. The bishops need to be held accountable for just not having a freaking spine. It's like between this and a lot of other things, there are elements of the culture that are at war with anyone who opposes this, and it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse, at least for a while.
It always gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead.
Oh, well, I figured that on that note, we should move on to the next thing that the governor of Virginia has been in hot water for. And this one's a doozy, but this one's a more entertaining doozy rather than that last one. Yes. So we'll be ending this podcast on a lighter note, fortunately. So,
later.
Lighter.
Words there.
Lighter, light. Yeah, Mager country. Anyway,
well played.
So this governor, the same one who explained explicitly what the bill would mean, he has been caught. Well, there's still debate on if it's actually him in this picture, but not long after he made this statement about the bill, a picture surfaced of a man in a KKK hood. Many believe it was, how do you pronounce his last name again?
Northam, I believe.
Northam.
Yeah.
Northam. Now that's already bad enough. And what makes it even worse is Northam actually comes out and apologizes for said picture of him in a KKK hood. Which, you know, whether you fall on the side of like, no, he was in a KKK hood, we don't want him as a politician anymore. Or if you land on the side of like, okay, he did that is despicable, but he isn't the same guy, so we can't continue holding the past against people, no matter how despicable the past is, unless it's like murder or something. Then it's like, okay, yeah, no. But it's like something that's like obviously a stupid young guy. Yeah. Right. Like, let's move on. He apologizes for that. And then later on, he's like, you know what? That wasn't, oh wait, no. Another picture surfaces.
No. Oh. Same picture, because the original picture is a dude in a KKK outfit and a dude in blackface next to him.
Oh.
The first came out, the question was Well, which one are you?
Oh, and okay. I got mixed up there for a second because the next part, which again, this whole thing's a doozy. After he apologizes, he's like, no, wait, that wasn't me in blackface. So he says it wasn't him in the KKK hood. He said he's implying that it was suspected that he was in blackface. Okay, wait. That's not me in blackface. I was in blackface at something else.
Yeah, that's his defense. That's not me because I would remember because I wore blackface other times.
So
how are you so stupid? Why
okay.
does that sound like a defense to you?
So let's get this straight here, people. So assume he's lying the second time. This is just trying to make sense of this thing.
Good luck.
So, okay. Assume he's lying the second time. You're telling me that to try to cover your butt after apologizing in the first place, you're basically saying you wore blackface more than once on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So, cut there.
Yep.
Say he's lying the first time. Why would you apologize in the first place and then later on share that you wore blackface multiple times?
Why? Yeah, there are obviously those questions. There are other numerous questions. Okay. Let's just say that neither one of them is him. Why does it end up on your page in this yearbook from med school? Because incidentally, he's a physician. Puts everything else in context, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Anyway, why would it end up on his page? For one, okay, that's odd.
Yeah.
Why would he be referred to in the yearbook as Coon Man? Not joking. That's true. That's what it says in the yearbook. He's Coon Man. Figure out what that means on your own. Maybe that lines up with him wearing blackface on multiple occasions. Now
it's kind of like one of those situations where he apologizes in the first place, and then his PR agent is like, okay, we need to try to make you look better, and then he goes on and it's like, okay, it's not me. I did that other times, and the PR agent just like, bye.
That's it. I quit. I'm done with you. You cannot be helped. Gosh. Oh man. Yeah. So the other question that I would have is, how does this make it in this yearbook at all? Who's putting this thing together? Who's vetting it? Who's going? Who looked and said, KKK picture? All right.
Yeah, because let's be honest.
I mean, this was 1984. It wasn't that long ago. I don't remember being a raging racist back then. I mean, granted, I was 8, but that's beside the point.
It's like, okay. A lot of people, there are a lot of people who say, oh yeah, back then it's like things weren't that good either. It's like it was bad and this and that. It's like, okay, but were they really KKK in the yearbook bad? Because I don't think they were. It was the 80s, man.
You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't. Now, as you were recapping, I was like, I'm trying to think. What's another context that could make this seem less bad?
Halloween party.
Halloween party is an obvious one.
It was a historical reenactment.
A historical reenactment in honor of Black History Month. Which, hey, we're in Black History Month, incidentally. Maybe. But as far as I know, none of those explanations have been offered. So if they haven't been offered yet, they're not gonna be.
But also, no one, let's be honest here, no one does historical reenactments of the KKK being racist towards blacks.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe it was like they were reenacting their some sort of defeat of the KKK.
People,
Some symbolic representation, a play, if you will, saying, hey, look, there's some straws. I'm gonna go grasp at them. Anyway,
listen, man. People reenact the Civil War, not the KKK. Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything. And to be fair, when I say none of these explanations have been offered, I mean in an official capacity. People have at least speculated about the Halloween party thing. I haven't heard of that. Someone saying, yes, that's what it was. That's what it was. No official statement saying, yeah, that was a Halloween party. It was a really stupid costume wear. I haven't heard.
You would think that he would try to use that as a way to cover his butt, but I guess no, he just got admit that he's
that's the most obvious thing to go with. I mean, that was the first thing I thought of as a possible explanation. First thing you thought of as a possible explanation.
Because that's what you do. You get something like this. The PR way to handle it, whether it's true or not, the PR way to handle it is, yeah, sorry, I was stupid. It was a Halloween party. I was drunk. I did dumb stuff.
I was drunk, and then I opened up the trunk of my car, and lo and behold, there was a KKK outfit on. I was so drunk. I just put this thing on. I was like, you know what? I was so drunk. I was just like, I stumbled across this can of shoe polish, and I thought, I got this crazy idea. I'm gonna I'm gonna rub it all over my face, and then you know what? I'm gonna go kill a baby because I'm drunk. Yeah.
Listen, okay.
To Virginia, apparently.
Okay, last joke. Okay, it's not gonna be a last joke, but another joke. He just thought it was a ghost costume. He didn't realize it was a pointy top.
That's what it was. I just want to be Casper. Can I be Casper? Don't judge me.
Oh, Casper the racist ghost.
It's Casper with a dunce cap on.
It's Casper the racist ghost.
Casper with a K. Okay. Oh my gosh. Can you believe this? It's like, all right. Okay, everybody, if there's nothing else you take from the events of especially the last week, you don't have to be a genius to be in politics. You could be a complete blithering idiot. And you don't even need to be good looking. You don't even need to have any charisma. Because this guy, he ain't got none of that. And somehow he has a success in politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the bodies are buried? Maybe. But he knows where some bodies are buried. And it's a landfill in Virginia because guess what they do with the aborted babies? Landfill. Anyway.
And on that note.
No. We're going to run a little long. Yes. There are some interesting. I don't know if he was the first one, but I saw Matt Walsh float the theory that the original Northam photo, was actually leaked by some Democrats because they're like, he's talking about how we're kind of in favor of killing the babies, like actual born babies. We have to do something about this, which means leak this thing, which they can't because it is their position, because it's been their position for a long time. The Democrat leadership, I'm not talking about every person that votes for a Democrat. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Democrat leadership. They have been openly in favor of this sort of thing for a long time, of killing babies outside the womb for a long time. No surprise here. But he said it. He said it openly and clearly. And like, oh my gosh, we can't quite have that out in the open so obviously. So we need to do something. And so they can't get after him for that. They can't actually attack him for that. But one thing they love to attack people on is racist. You're a racist. They love that one. I'm sorry. Yes, totally ripping off the way Ben Shapiro pronounces racist. Deal with it. And if he tries to sue me, he'll obviously win because he's a lawyer and he has money.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is like an inside smear job. From who and which side, I don't know, but I would not be surprised.
I honestly think so because they're like, okay, we'll either get rid of them, because I mean, if you notice, I mean, all the Democrats are like killing babies, whatever. As soon as that picture shows up, like a racist, get out! You need to resign. And you know, Elizabeth Warren is on this and everything, and it's like, well, he'll either resign and go away, and then he's not an obvious, he's not such a liability anymore, or we distract everybody from the whole baby killing thing. Win-win. And incidentally, that seems to be pretty much what's happening.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the racist thing. Nobody's talking about the, you know, we'll keep the kid comfortable before we sever its spine.
Deflection. Yeah.
Yeah. I would, and besides it, and another thing this exposes, Republicans suck at oppo research. Because if they put half the effort into it that the Democrats do, they would have found this thing. They would have found this thing that would have been all over the campaign. Also shows the Democrats don't put any more effort into vetting their candidates with kind of their own like practice oppo research than the Republicans do. Because the Republicans don't do such a great job either when it comes to that.
No.
But yeah, or put a more positive spin. The Republicans have just a little bit more honor and they're not interested in lambasting a person for things that they did 30, 40 years ago. I'm not sure how true that is, to be perfectly honest, but that would be the charitable thing to say, other than the fact that you just suck at this oppo research thing. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that little theory that it might be
Good job. Yeah, it's very interesting and would not be far-fetched.
Yeah, I honestly think so at this point. Oh, I almost forgot. Right after the photo broke and everything, CNN tried running the story that Northam is a Republican. Yeah, they had a little R next to his name when, you know, on the chyron and everything. I guess Anderson Cooper was trying to prop this up. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? He literally just won just won the election against Ed Gillespie. Ed Gillespie was a Republican who, incidentally, they turned as racist.
That was a typo. It was a typo.
It was completely innocent. I swear I didn't mean to do it. And I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, and I just literally somebody just put words in Anderson Cooper's mouth.
That was an accident, okay? Because I'm thinking R as in racist, so it slipped, okay? It's
R racist, R Republican. It's both R's, and they're the same thing anyway. And Anderson Cooper's still drunk from the New Year's Eve special. He hasn't recovered yet. Anyway.
And moving.
And on that note, I hope you enjoyed today's somewhat fiery, more impassioned episode. As you can see, I'm definitely worked up. And after all of this, after the last couple of weeks, you're going to see more of that. I'm going to be honest here, because I'm getting increasingly pissed off and annoyed with these people. And there's no sense in... I don't see a lot of benefit in not letting it show a little bit. Because there's no sense. Soft pedaling has not served us well. I'm not saying we have to act like them, but we have to fight as hard as them. Because they are, and there are so many other things that could be said that I'm not going to right now because we're just out of time. And the fact is, if you disagree with them, they're coming for you in one way or another. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. To put that a little bit out of context, Governor Cuomo said years ago that there's no place for pro-life people in his state as far as he's concerned. They have no role in the way that state is run. Think about that. Think about the fact that now New York describes abortion as a fundamental human right. What do you think that's going to do to conscience rights for physicians, for pharmacists, nurses, all of it? What do you think that's going to do? People are going to be made to choose between what they believe and their ability to earn a paycheck. It's happening already. It's going to be ramping up. It's happened in other places around the world. It's coming here. It's at our doorstep. Keep that in mind. There is no more room for soft pedaling. Between the way they treated the Covington kids and everything else over the last few years, there is no benefit of the doubt anymore, as far as I'm concerned, for the mainstream media. I believe, and this whole Governor Northam's a Republican. Are you freaking kidding me, CNN? Are you kidding me? There's no benefit of the doubt anymore. I not only there is no doubt that you're biased. That's been clear for a long time, but there is no doubt anymore that many of you are not even trying to act in good faith. That you understand that you're biased, or at least trying to be fair. No, it's gone. I used to try to give you that benefit of the doubt. I don't have it anymore. You killed it. Good job. And if you want to start raving about conspiracy theories and everything, this is how they happen. This is how they happen. You get exposed for obvious lies that anyone can find out, and you're pushing it. People start to doubt everything they're told. Everything. That's how you get people denying the moon landing, for crying out loud. That's how you get Alex Jones raving about the frogs turning gay. That's how this happens. So, in any case, everybody watching, I hope you. I'm not sure what I hope you take from this, other than don't trust them, ask questions, do your own research,
and make sure that cloth you grabbed is actually a ghost costume.
Yes, thank you for that, and also don't let this stuff get you down too much. Okay. Because it can be depressing if you spend too much time thinking about it. I know this all too well. But this is not all there is. It is a fight. It is a fight that will eventually, that I do believe eventually will be won. Arguably, for my fellow Christians out there, we would argue that the fight has already been won, in an ultimate sense. So there is hope beyond this. So I'm gonna I borrowed from Ben Shapiro earlier. I'm gonna borrow from Steve Deace now. Enjoy the things you enjoy. Go home, hug your wife, your husband, your kids. Do all the things you're supposed to do as a normal American family. And don't let this take that away from you. All right? On that note, we're going to let you go. Crystal, you have any final words?
I already said my piece, and like I said, just make sure it was a freaking ghost costume.
and don't wear the shoe polish. It's a bad idea.
It's not all too.
And again, on that note, have a good week and keep fighting the good fight.